Today on National Girl Child Day, we have with us someone really special who started something unique. Thank you, Mansi, for joining us today. Tell us first ever website on girls' rights, women rights. How did you really think of something innovative and different like this, which is really the need of the hour?
Thank you so much, Ambika, for having me. And Pink Legal is the first and only platform in India which provides women information about their rights. And I thought about this because as a law student, I realized that in India, we actually have a lot of laws which are in favor of women. But most women don't know about these laws because they're very complicated and it's difficult to understand them. And therefore, and I also realized that there is no resource which is reliable, accurate, and comprehensive where women can actually understand their rights from. And this is how the idea behind Pink Legal was born. And Pink Legal started off as a legal awareness website, but today it also provides women access to legal services by connecting them to lawyers across India and also by answering their legal queries.
So something innovative which all started about 2 years ago on Women's Day, right? On 8th of March in 2020. So tell us, like you said, there are laws which women know, but there is not much awareness. If I can ask you in simple words, what are the important laws that every girl must know about?
So I will tell you three important laws which I think every girl or woman must know about. Number one is the Domestic Violence Act, because domestic violence is one of the most commonly faced problems by women in India. And the Domestic Violence Act protects you from four types of violence, which is physical, emotional, financial, and sexual. And it protects you against any family member. It could be your own or your matrimonial family members, as long as you're sharing a house with them.
Sure.
The second important law which all women need to know is about sexual harassment, which is basically that sexual harassment is of three types, not just physical, but also verbal, which is through spoken words, and non-verbal, which is through gestures or body language. So most women are not aware that even non-physical forms of sexual harassment are punishable. And number three is about the sexual harassment at workplace laws, because we've all seen through the Me Too movement that this is quite a commonly occurring phenomenon. And the POSH Act, which is the Prevention of Sexual Harassment at Workplace Act, is a very strong law in favor of women, which protects them from, again, all kinds of sexual harassment in the workplace.
Okay. So tell us, what do you see in the last 2 years? What have you really seen? What is that the women are really looking for? Like, what kind of help? Is it, like, of course, you've explained as violence really well. Is it because of they being forced into marriage or not being allowed to study? What are the kind of instances or examples that you all see that maximum girls or women are really looking out at help from you guys?
So, surprisingly, or maybe not so surprisingly, the maximum number of queries that we get on Pink Legal are about domestic violence issues, either from their own family members or from the husband's or in-laws' family. And most women, I think about 90% women who reach out to Pink Legal face domestic violence. And the remaining could be something again to do with their marriage and divorce or custody of children. That's also a very crucial problem.
Okay.
And for girl children, especially, we have noticed that the case of being forced into marriage is quite common. And a lot of girls approach Pink Legal to understand their rights about, when their parents are forcing them into marriage or they are holding them locked up in the household and not allowing them to move out so that they can force them.
Okay. So, I want to talk to you about education. That is something, I mean, we all know how important education is, especially for the girl child. And unfortunately, many of them in our country are still out of school. So, how important is it to educate girls about their rights from an early age? One is, of course, education, but about their rights, and will it really help them live a better as well as a healthier life that once they really know that there are laws for them and there are rights for them as well?
I think it's extremely important to educate girls about their rights right from childhood. In fact, if it's included as a part of the school curriculum, that would be ideal, because awareness and education is the first step towards empowerment. And if girls know right from childhood that they have rights against sexual harassment or they have rights against domestic violence and other commonly occurring problems, they will know that they don't need to suffer in silence, that they have legal remedies and that they can take action, point towards taking action. So it's extremely important to educate girls right from a very young age.
Yeah, so that they really know and they can take action, like you rightly said. Like you just said, child marriage. In fact, there's also been a study that 10 million girls might be out of school because of COVID-19 financial situation of parents. Tell us, recently, India raised marriage age for women to 21. As a lawyer, what, according to you, will be the implication of this?
So, in my opinion, I think raising the marriageable age of women to 21 is a good move because the marriageable age of boys is also 21. So, therefore, this brings an equal age for both, for all genders. And secondly, by making it 21, we are giving girl children additional 3 years to be able to settle themselves in life, to receive education, maybe to even get a job and become financially independent, instead of at the ripe young age of 18 being pushed into marriage. So therefore, it is definitely a good move. The only flip side of it that could come out is that we could have more number of under the radar marriages which are conducted illegally because now the age is 21, but maybe some parents want to force the same way as child marriages are conducted.
Yeah.
So it could lead to under the radar marriages as well.
So of course, it needs to be looked into that. Mansi, something what you said, it gives the girls 3 extra years. Or generally, also if we see, like if a mother is educated, the children will be educated, the family, the nutrition of a child will be taken care of. How do you think that when a girl, when she really knows what is good for her and her family, it also, how is the impact on the health of not only the girl herself but also entire family?
So I think there's a very popular saying, right, that you educate a woman and then you educated the entire family. And I think it's quite true because women are generally considered as the primary caregivers in the family even today. And therefore, if the primary caregiver is educated and is in control of living her life on her own terms, she will really be able to educate everybody in the family, bring about change, stand up for herself. She will be able to command a lot of respect because of her position, and I think therefore she will not have to suffer in silence and she can really raise her voice.
Manji, today we are having this conversation because it's National Girl Child Day. This is something we need to do on a daily basis, talk about it. And India doesn't have, statistics or data to be proud of. I mean, we are a country where girl babies die more, whether it's, I mean, there's so much, I mean, so many girls are out of school. I mean, it's some sad fact. In fact, it's a shame that, still in our country, girls are considered a burden. If I could ask you, how do you think girls can really break free of the shackles of discrimination as well as social taboos? And I mean, even now in the 21st century.
So I think firstly it has to start with a cultural change within the family itself, because the family should understand that a girl is not a burden but an asset and should be able to treat them equally, provide them equal opportunities and resources. So that would be the number one change. And the number two change that we should look forward to is that girls should work towards really becoming independent both financially and emotionally, because then they will have the access to resources and support systems within themselves to really stand up for themselves and live their life on their own terms without having to without being dictated by anybody else. And I think lack of financial independence is one of the most important reasons why women are forced to suffer in silence and continue to do so. So therefore financial and emotional independence.
I think you've put that really well. Just a last question, and in case a girl really wants help, she cannot get out of the house. Tell us in simple words how they can get connected with Pink Legal, so that at least there's a connect and she can really get help and, help herself out of a tough situation.
So all the information available on Pink Legal is online and available at the click of a button. So anybody with access to internet can understand their rights. Secondly, anybody with a phone can just simply send in their legal query to Pink Legal through our website, or if they want to speak to a lawyer and understand their situation or speak to a counselor in case they are facing any kind of trauma, we have a platform called Nyairi through which they can access these services for free. And thirdly, if they want to take on ground action and maybe file a case, they can connect to us and we will connect them to a lawyer by matching their requirements to the lawyers that we have on our network. And through this, they can go ahead and even file a case. So everything is available at the click of a button right at your fingertips.
Thank you, Mansi, for speaking with us. And let's really hope that this Girl Child Day, we can really change things around and make a difference in our own ways.
Thank you, Ambika. I hope so too.
Thank you.